Do you remember a case called State v. Westwood?
I believe so, Senator.
And you were reversed in that case, weren't you?
Senator, in reviewing my cases, I think I've been reversed in about 2% of the cases that I've issued. I've issued almost...
Were you reversed in that case, though?
That was a very complicated case regarding sentencing
but
law.
I'm going to run out of time, and I got a bunch of these.
Okay.
Were you reversed?
That might have been one of the 2% of the cases. I think so.
Reversed?
I believe that was one of the 2% of cases,
You remember
Senator.
a case called Personal Restraint of Heiress?
That, I think, was the case regarding whether or not the person had been deprived.
Were you reversed in that case?
That was, I think I was not reversed.
Were you reversed in that case, counsel?
Senator, I think that I wasn't reversed as to outcome, but it was one of the 2% of the cases where the state Supreme Court disagreed with the analysis.
You remember a case called Parental Rights of ALK? Were you reversed in that case?
Senator, I think that was one of the 2% of my over 450 cases where there was a reversal.
Do you remember a case called State v. Log Bomb?
I recall that case, Senator. That case.
Were you reversed in that case?
That was one of the 2% of cases. I issued an opinion to affirm a conviction, and the state Supreme Court overruled.
Welcome back to Right View Nation, where we defend America, expose the radicals, and always put freedom first. Today, we've got another shining example of exactly why we must fight to protect our courts from Biden's radical activist nominees. Senator John Kennedy, a man who tells it like it is, absolutely grilled one of Biden's hand-picked judges. And Patriots, let me tell you, it wasn't just embarrassing, it was frightening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to all three of you. Judge Pinnell, you are a political activist, aren't you?
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. I am a judge on the Washington State Court of Appeals. I don't consider that to be a political activist.
Okay. In 2020, you and 10 of your friends issued a written statement. You entitled it, quote, Statement on Racism, White Supremacy, and Justice. Here's what you said. I'm quoting from you now. Racism and white supremacy currently plague every social, educational, economic, governmental, and legal system. Racism and white supremacy currently plague every social, educational, economic, governmental, and legal system in our state and in our nation. And they have for centuries. Both, you're referring to your state and America, both target Black, Indigenous, African American, Latinx, and other people and communities of color, resulting in entrenched inequality and inequity, manifesting in unjust, unfair, and differential treatment, and yielding remarkably disparate and negative outcomes relative to those experienced by white people. End quote. Did I read that accurately?
Senator, I don't have it in front of me. I don't have any reason to think that you did not read that correctly.
Okay. You are very active in Planned Parenthood, are you not?
No, Senator.
Okay. Well, Planned Parenthood, in its annual reports, lists you as a, quote, silver friend, close quote. Do you know what a silver friend means?
I don't, Senator.
That's someone who has donated between $1,000 and $2,500 to Planned Parenthood of Greater Washington and North Idaho. That's in the Planned Parenthood annual reports. You don't know anything about that?
I don't recall. What I recall, Senator, is that my husband had donated to Planned Parenthood, and I think at some point in time they listed me along with him, but I believe that was a donation.
This is you.
Okay.
And in fact, they say that as of 2018, you've been a donor for at least 10 consecutive years. Is that right?
I do not recall donating them for the last 10 consecutive, 10 years before 2018 or 10?
That's as of.
I don't recall, Senator.
Okay, you don't remember. Okay, let me ask you, you're on the Court of Appeal. Let me ask you about a few of your cases. Do you remember a case called State v. Westwood?
I believe so, Senator.
And you were reversed in that case, weren't you?
Senator, in reviewing my cases, I think I've been reversed in about 2% of the cases that I've issued. I've issued almost...
Were you reversed in that case, though?
That was a very complicated case regarding sentencing law.
But I'm going to run out of time, and I got a bunch of these.
Okay.
Were you reversed?
That might have been one of the 2% of the cases. I think so.
Reversed?
I believe that was one of the 2% of cases,
You remember
Senator.
a case called Personal Restraint of Heiress?
That, I think, was the case regarding whether or not the person had been deprived.
Were you reversed in that case?
That was, I think I was not reversed.
Were you reversed in that case, counsel?
Senator, I think that I wasn't reversed as to outcome, but it was one of the 2% of the cases where the state Supreme Court disagreed with the analysis.
You remember a case called Parental Rights of ALK? Were you reversed in that case?
Senator, I think that was one of the 2% of my over 450 cases where there was a reversal.
Do you remember a case called State v. Log Bomb?
I recall that case, Senator. That case.
Were you reversed in that case?
That was one of the 2% of cases. I issued an opinion to affirm a conviction, and the state Supreme Court overruled that and reversed.
You remember a case called State v. Barboza v. Cortez? Were you reversed in that case?
Senator, that case is not coming to mind. Again, I've issued myself personally written over 450 decisions.
You remember a case called State v. Telvik?
Senator, I think I recall that name. That might have been one of the 2% of
reversed
cases.
in that too?
That might have been one of the 2% of cases,
Okay.
Senator.
Another case, Hendrickson v. Moses Lake School. Were you reversed in that case?
Senator, I recall that case. I think that might have been one of the 2% of cases where the state Supreme Court disagreed with the analysis of another appellate court.
Were you reversed? You remember a case called State v. Curry? Were you reversed there?
Senator, I think you're reading off all the cases. I think that's one of the 2% of cases.
Okay. How about a case called State v. Rathbone? Were you reversed?
That's probably one of the 2%, Senator.
How about a case called Douglas v. Shamrock Paving Company?
Senator, that's a case where I was largely affirmed. The only thing that was a reversed, I included everything, even if it was just a partial reverse. The only thing that I was reversed on was an award of attorney fees. The substance of the law, which was rather new in that case regarding what constituted an investigation for an environmental cleanup.
So you weren't reversed?
That part of it I was affirmed.
Yeah, I think that would be a surprise to the Supreme Court that you weren't reversed.
Okay, thank you, Senator.
I'm out of time. Thanks, Mr. Chairman, for your indulgence.
For the record, what is 2% of 450?
I think it's about 11 cases, if memory serves, 11 to 12 cases of the cases that I've written, many of which are grappling with really novel issues. And so that's what happens.
11 out of 450?
Over 450 that I've written myself.
Senators should be so lucky. Senator Booker?
I haven't been right 98.
Senator Kennedy started off with a simple question, one that every American deserves to know. Are you a political activist? Now, if you're a real, honest, impartial judge, that's an easy no. But what did this nominee say? She dodged, she danced, and she pretended like her record didn't exist. Folks, if you can't even answer whether you're a political activist, guess what? You are a political activist. And if that wasn't enough proof, Kennedy read directly from a statement she signed, claiming that racism and white supremacy plague every system in America. Every single system. Think about that, Patriots. According to Biden's nominee, America is irredeemably racist, from our government, to our schools, to our economy, to the courts themselves. If she believes the entire country is racist, how can she possibly serve as an impartial judge? Spoiler alert, she can't. She doesn't want to. She wants to fundamentally change it. And of course, it wouldn't be a Biden nominee without some connection to Planned Parenthood, the left's sacred cash cow. Senator Kennedy exposed that she was listed as a silver friend of Planned Parenthood, meaning she donated up to $2,500 to them. When confronted, what did she say? I don't recall. Are we really supposed to believe someone can't remember if they supported an organization that ends millions of innocent lives? Give me a break. These people will say anything to get confirmed. They'll pretend, they'll deflect, and they'll hope you're not paying attention. But Kennedy wasn't done yet. He did what real oversight looks like. He rattled off case after case, asking whether this nominee had been reversed by the higher courts. And guess what? One after another, she admitted it. Over 11 cases. And those are just the ones Senator Kennedy had time to mention. She brushed it off saying, "It's only 2% of my cases." Patriots, when you're applying for a lifetime appointment to a federal bench, 11 reversals are not a small thing. If you or I made mistakes 2% of the time, on crucial, life-altering decisions, we'd be fired. But in Biden's America, mistakes don't matter. Extremism doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is loyalty to the woke agenda. And here's the real danger, Right View Nation. When you put people like this on the bench, people who think America is evil, who think law is political, who have no respect for the Constitution, you don't just get bad rulings. You get a fundamentally different America. You get a legal system that punishes patriots and protects radicals. You get courts that favor criminals over victims. You get rulings that chip away at our freedoms, gun rights, religious liberty, parental rights, all under the phony disguise of justice. Biden knows what he's doing. This is all part of the left's master plan. Stack the courts with activists. Bypass the will of the American people. Force their radical policies on us whether we like it or not. And that's why we have to call it out. That's why Senator Kennedy's questioning matters. And that's why you Right View Nation have to stay loud, stay strong, and never back down. If we want to save this country, it starts with holding the line. We must demand judges who love America, not ones who apologize for it. We must demand judges who believe in the Constitution, not ones who want to rewrite it. We must demand truth, fairness, and justice, not woke activism dressed up in a robe. This fight is bigger than one hearing. It's bigger than one nominee. This is about whether the America we love will survive the left's radical assault. And I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to give up. Not now. Not ever. Thank you for standing strong with us. Make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and share this with every patriot you know. Together, we will defend freedom. Together, we will fight for the America our founders gave us. God bless you, God bless Senator Kennedy, and God bless the United States of America.